Right. Yeah, so just explain to me.
Well, welcome to the video we're going to do on the MSR Mini Waterworks water filter. This is one of several water filters that you can use to purify drinking water in an emergency situation, or like we're doing tonight, camping in the Mammoth Cave National Park. The first thing you need to do with these, since it's the first time I've used this year, you've got to inspect the ceramic filter inside, which is relatively easy to do. Most of the time I'd have done this beforehand, but it's not really necessary. Okay, what you're looking for on this filter, this is a ceramic filter, and you want to make sure that it's not got any cracks in it. And there's a little gauge here that comes with the filter that you check on the outside. If that gauge fits over the filter, then the filter's bad. If the filter's dirty, you can clean this with a substance called Scotch-Brite. You can get it in the store. You don't want the kind with the detergent in it, just the clean kind, and you just scrub the outside off like this. It gets all the filth off and gives you a nice, fresh, clean layer of filter. But this one looks good, so we're going to go ahead and put it back into the pump and reassemble everything. And the output goes down, that's the side with the O-ring on it, and you just screw it back into the top. You know, make sure this is good and tight because you don't want anything to leak past that filter. Now there's a cover on the bottom that protects your discharge side. You want to make sure the inside of that cover stays clean. So the red thing goes on the outside here, and it's secured by the outside, that red gauge. So once that's clamped onto the bottom, you want to sit this so where this side's facing up, so that's your clean water side. You don't want to contaminate that at all. And this MSR filter is nice because it'll fit a standard Nalgene bottle top. I've got a stainless one. You can use the regular polycarbonate ones, and it just screws on like this. So that makes a pretty decent seal. It's easy to, you don't want to put this on too tight. You want to have a little bit of airspace in there so that the water can go. Now, we've got a nice spring. A lot of the campsites here at Mammoth Cave have really good water sources. There's a spring about 100 yards from our campsite down the hill. You want flowing water. And we've got some flowing water here. It's not much, but it's a spring that comes out from the hill into the campsite. This foam piece is a float that keeps your intake off the bottom, which keeps you from sucking mud up. The filter will take care of that mud, but if you can see inside, there's a little pre-filter in this coil. This coil acts as a weight to hold this underwater. And then there's a pre-filter inside there that keeps you from sucking up big chunks of mud and things. If you suck a bunch of dirty water or mud into this thing, it'll plug the filter up and it won't work. So when you get ready to do this, what you want to do is find your position where you're comfortable. You kind of want to get that section under the water in a place that's deep enough for it, and you just pump slowly. You hear it suck in. You don't want to pump too hard or you'll force some of the contaminants you're trying to take out of the water through the filter. And we got good pressure on it. You just want to keep this nice steady pressure on it. When you hear that sound, that's the water starting to go in to the can out of the filter. And the way this works is it builds up a small airhead on top of the water to keep the water flowing all the time. So you hear the water flows continuously. That's one of the advantages of this MSR filter. But you just want to pump nice and slow. Make sure that your weight stays underwater. And just do this. It takes about 50 or 60 pumps to get a full liter. We brought most of our water in, so we don't need a whole lot tonight.
What kind of things is this cleaning out of the water?
Well, this will take everything out of the water. Its particulate size and smaller. Cryptosporidium it'll take out most of the time. Giardia, those kind of things that are common contaminants in the water. It'll take out silt, particles. The only thing that really makes it through this is viruses, or viral cysts can make it through, which is one of the reasons I recommend that you double treat your water. They make a purifier attachment. They used to make a purifier attachment for this for the discharge side that would take care of that. They used an iodine resin. This is relatively cold water, so I prefer to use chlorine dioxide, and I'll show you when I've got this whole thing here how to do that. It takes a little longer to treat than it does with iodine, but it'll kill any crypto that makes it through. It'll kill any viruses that are here. So you're pretty well protected. There's some water-soluble radionucleotides that'll make it through this, but you know, your normal things you would expect to be contaminants, heavy metals, and that kind of thing typically don't come through here. Unless they're things like arsenic might, if you've got a bad water source, but this is good spring water here in western Kentucky, so we don't have to worry too much about that. We've about got a full liter. And you want to get it relatively full. You'll feel some resistance and the water will start to seep out around the top when you're full. But you want it full because that's the measurement that you'll use for your chlorine dioxide tablet. That's what they're calibrated to, is a liter. Quarts, close enough, but we're just about done. This takes a while. If you suck in air, it takes longer. But it's really important that you be patient with this, because if you force this through, it'll push things through the filter would otherwise get out. So you want just a nice steady pressure. It's about 4 or 5 pounds in the pump. This is one of the faster filters out there. There's some that are a little slower, but this one's pretty reasonable for camping and for emergency purposes. And you can filter rainwater out of a catch barrel if you have that. That's not okay. So we got water shooting out the side. That's good. So now there's a couple of important things we've got to remember. What we've got here is we've got clean water inside the can, filtered water, wild water in the outside of the filter. So I'm going to take this off carefully. The water leaking out around the bottom of the filter is okay. I want to set this somewhere where it's nice and safe while we secure our filter. The next thing we want to do, because we've got all this wild water floating around, is that clean part of that cap we had. We want to put that on the bottom and close it up. You can probably crack that open and just pump this one time to get everything out. Now, if you're hiking and you're going to use this quite a bit, you can just leave it like this, wind this hose up. Be mindful that the outside of this hose is contaminated with wild water at this point, so you don't want to get this hose in contact with your clean drinking water. But as long as you don't have freezing conditions, you can keep these ceramic filters full, and it'll make it easier to prime the next time. I like to take the little tab off because it makes it easier to secure it to the bottom of the handle. And there's your little filter. There's everything. I'll do another video to show you how to clean these whenever we're back at the house. It's really easy. Now, part of my water kit, as I said, is chlorine dioxide tablets. So I'll put this up so there's no danger of wild water contamination. If you're in an area with suspect water, you might want to use some hand sanitizer or something like that before, because waterborne illnesses are bad news. After a disaster or something like that, I would certainly do that. But what we've got here, there's a way to do this to keep your hands clean and to keep your water clean. Now, chlorine dioxide, the way that it works, it releases, it oxidizes the water. It doesn't really add chlorine to it the way that conventional bleach does. It adds an oxidation reaction in the water, and it goes fairly quickly. So you should try to do this as quickly as possible, but you want to slit that tab open and peel this back. You don't want to get your hands on this open edge. You flip it over, drop that tab in, and very quickly close your cap tight. And this needs to sit, depending on water temperature, for at least an hour. In cold weather, I like to let it set 2 to 3 hours. One of the rules that I like to use when I'm camping is when I hike in, I like to have at least 2 liters of water to cook, or enough water to cook 2 meals for 2 people, which is what my usual camping group is, and enough water to walk 2 miles out. And usually what I'll do is prep my water the night before, the last thing before I break camp, or the last thing I do before I cook. And then this water will be used to fill up all the things that we've used while we've been camping, and to fill my drinking bladders and those things up when I'm done. But thanks you guys for watching. We'll do a couple more videos on how to do the MSR filter, and hopefully we'll have some more videos up from this camping trip. But thank you much, and go to prepareforcollapse.com if you want to see some more stuff that we offer, and good luck out there.